Before we move to our lunch program, we have a fun surprise today. Here to introduce a special guest is International Director Justin Faber.
Greetings again, friends. It is my distinct honor to introduce to you my good friend, our first International Vice President, Lyon Douglas Alexander. Lyon Douglas is a member of the Brooklyn Bedford Stuyvesant Lions Club in New York. He joined that club in 1984, which so happens to be the same year our beloved Detroit Tigers won their last World Series. He's a retired vice president of JP Morgan Chase Bank, and he served on the international board with our own past international director, Gary. Now, Vice President Douglas, from the bottom of our hearts, we apologize for that. Yes, so I'll let you listen to more words from our Vice President. Thank you.
Well, thank you, ID Justin, for that introduction. And I want to thank the Lions of Michigan for allowing me to just drop into your forum. I had 3 different forums going on this morning at the same time, but I did want to stop in and just to say hello. And I don't want to be the one that's keeping you from your lunch. But since you've given me this opportunity to speak with you, I will. I just listened to Vice District Governor Danny give his presentation. And he is an outstanding Lion. We will see more of him, has some wonderful ideas. But I just wanted to talk briefly about the question that one of the Lions asked about when you get that opposition in your club. You know what we're finding, that one of the reasons that some of our newer Lions are not stepping up to leadership position, they are intimidated by the older Lions that have been around for such a long time and have that popularity in our districts. So they are afraid to raise their hand to step up. So we must take that into consideration when we're looking at building our districts and our clubs. Let's give our Lions an opportunity to serve, to grow, to build a resume, to become our zone chairs, our region chairs, our cabinet secretaries, our cabinet treasurers, our vice district governors, and yes, our district governors, our future directors, and yes, even our future international presidents. It is so important. Last year at the Q Center, when the vice district governors were there, we had about over 50 repeat district governors. Something's wrong. We're not developing our Lions. We're not giving them an opportunity to serve. Now, I know there are exceptions in certain cases where you can't find someone to serve, or something happens to a person and the other person may not be ready to step in, and we'll have a past district governor step in. But let's give our Lions an opportunity to serve so that they can grow. And that's part of our retention. If Lions are happy and feel good about what they're doing, they won't leave us. They will continue to stay Lions. So let's just be mindful of that. As I look toward my year as your international president next year, people are asking, what's going to be your theme? Well, it's a little early to share that with you yet, but I often tell people, if you listen to when I speak, you should be able to pick it up. So that's just the clue I'll give you. And before I finish, you may have picked it up. But a few things I just want to touch on also is leadership development, which is what I was just speaking about. That's part of the payback that we get as Lions for the time and energy that we spend in serving others and working in our clubs and in our districts. The ability to develop our leadership skills, which can be used not only in Lionism, in our personal life, and in our work life. That's part of the payback that we get for the service that we give to others. So let's give Lions the opportunity to grow. Again, that will help with the retention. Communication, and I'm going to say this 3 times, communication, communication, communication. So important that we communicate. Oftentimes we'll go to a cabinet meeting or we'll come to an event such as this, and we'll go back to our clubs and not share what we've learned. It's so important that we do that. Most of you know, have heard of, we've gone through the NAMI process, the North American Membership Initiative, to build membership in constitutional areas 1 and 2, where it's over the last 30, 40 years, we have tried a lot of different programs, but we were not able to sustain any growth. Information that we have learned from that should be shared with our district. as you may or may not know, we are getting ready to move into the GMA, the Global Membership Approach, which is being rolled out to the whole world, all 8 constitutional areas. It's a process, not a program, a process that if we follow, we should see positive results in our membership growth, sustainable growth. It's not an overnight process. It's a process that takes time. But if we follow the steps, we feel quite confident that we will be able to grow our membership. We've been stuck at 1.4 million Lions much too long. It's time to move that number to 1.5, 1.8, 2.8 million Lions. Just imagine if each Lion just found one person that they could bring into our great association. We could turn that 1.4 into 2.8 and give us more hands to provide more service. And I must just touch on our foundation, Lions Clubs International Foundation. As you know, we're in the middle of a campaign 100 to raise $300 million. That campaign was due to end in June of 2021. But as a result of the pandemic, the trustees of our foundation voted to add a year to that time. So it's now June of 2022. We are currently at $193 million of the goal. So we are on track to make our goal of $300 million. I just want to encourage you to continue to support our foundation. Thank you for what you have done. And if you can see the sign behind me where it says LCIF Campaign Telethon, April 11th, we will be putting on a telethon to raise funds for our foundation. You should see more information about it. It's from 5 to 9 p.m. Eastern time. It will be on YouTube. And the gentleman, Lion Danny Elkins, who just was on prior to me, has a role to play in that. I will be traveling to Maryland on Monday for a taping for the telethon. We have some surprises for you. We have some cameos of famous people that I'm sure many of you will recognize. And we're still working on this, putting it together. But we're hoping to raise a lot of money for our foundation. During the time of this pandemic, our foundation has been there for us here in New York. Many of you know in the beginning of this epidemic, we were the epicenter. We received a $200,000 grant from our foundation. We were able to feed our first responders, find PPP to help them, our food pantries in our communities. We were able to serve and to serve safely for ourselves as well as the people we served. We had one district that found a machine that cleaned the ambulances. And not thinking about it, but when you transport a patient, especially if it's a COVID patient, before that ambulance could be used again, it has to be cleaned. It took several hours. Well, they found a machine that could do it in 45 minutes or less. They were able to purchase 6 of those machines to distribute in their area. That is what Lions do. That is who we are. Our motto is we serve. And I like to say we serve. Service is who we are. Service is what we do. Service is why we exist. So I want to encourage you to continue to serve, but to serve safely through this time of the pandemic. And we will get through it. We will. And I know we all look forward to the day when we can be together in our conventions and meetings, because that's part of it. And that's another thing that we've found out during this time of pandemic, how important the social aspect of our life is. And we've been missing that for about a year now, but it will get better. So I want to thank you for all you do as Lions, for our people around the world. Thank you for your support of our organization, our foundation. And I want you to continue to serve and to serve safely and to serve with kindness, because kindness truly matters. Thank you for giving me this opportunity to just drop into your forum. Enjoy the rest of the forum. And if I can help in any way, please feel free to call on me. You have several connections there. My good friend and campaign manager, past director, Gary Anderson. Thank you.
Thank you, Vice President Douglas Alexander. On behalf of the Michigan Lions and Lions around the world, we're excited for your leadership in your year as president. From the bottom of our hearts, thank you very much.
My pleasure.